Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. Joining me today is Guy Siverson. Welcome, Guy. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
You're welcome. So, where in the world are you? Are you in the States?
Yes, I we live in Rapid City, South Dakota. We've been
Mhm.
here since 2018.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. Yeah. Um, so, Guy, why don't you tell us more about you?
I am presently a massage therapist here in Rapid City. Together with my wife, we opened our own practice against everyone else's recommendation in 2008. Well, at about the end of 2018, we were
Mm.
told that we would fail, and we've been extremely successful.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. Can you go in more details as to why you chose the career that you do?
I'd like to, but before I do that, I'd like to step back to yesteryear, if I can, to start with.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
So we're looking at 1990 92. I was going through the university, getting a degree in communication and a degree in psychology simultaneously. And in order to do that, I was also working full time, and I commuted an hour each way to get to school. Needless to say, I didn't have time for anything, including sleep. So I was lucky for a period of about 2 years. If I would get an hour or 2 hours of sleep a night, I was lucky.
Mhm.
Um, while I could handle that going through it, what ended up happening is I killed my adrenal system, which caused me to become an insomniac.
Mm.
So if there's any stress of any sort that happens, my sleep just goes away. At least that's where it used to be. Well, when I graduated from the university, I couldn't find work.
Mm.
So this led me into more of a serious depression, even I would say suicide depression.
Mm.
And I'm a naturopath vegan, so I don't go and do Western medicine,
Mhm.
and I didn't know exactly how to survive or even if I would. But
Mm.
step by step, I continued to move forward. And, some steps were unsuccessful. Some steps were very successful. Now we fast forward to 2018 and beyond, during such unstressful times as the pandemic, such unstressful times as superinflation. Of course, this doesn't cause anybody any stress, right? And
Mhm.
what I have found is, as I have learned through my faith and through following God, as I have learned to trust more in Him, I've been able to move forward in ways that in 2015 would not have even been possible. So that's where we are, just a nutshell of where we are today and kind of the background. What questions do you have?
Mhm. Let's talk about insomnia because that this is a topic that's really misunderstood.
Mm,
Sometimes it depends on the person. They can get very uh, defensive because they don't want people to tell them how to live their lives,
mm.
what the amount of sleep that they need. What are some common misunderstanding that you think society has when it comes to insomnia and healthy sleep and habits?
So one thing that I would really say in that area is not every body needs the same sleep schedule. A lot of people say you need 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
Mm.
Today, what I do is I'll go to bed at about 9. I'll get up about 1 or 2. Now that's more sleep than what my body's used to already. But then I'll do some work for a little while, and then I'll take a nap. For my body, that's what works best. What really is important isn't to get caught in that spiral of, oh no, I'm not sleeping, I need to sleep. Now I'm stressed out that I'm not sleeping. Now okay, and it's a cycle. It just continues down and down and down. Before you know it, you've gone through the whole night without any sleep at all. And I've done that far too many times. If we listen to our body's needs and move according to our body's needs, our body will tell us what it needs.
Yeah, you're right. It does. I used to have insomnia, and I had to be hospitalized, and it all started when my mental health issues started. Um, I'm trying to think of this question because I know that some medications can impact our sleep. So can diet. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm a naturopathic vegan.
Mm,
Does that give you an answer?
yes, it
I
does. Tell
believe,
me more.
yeah, okay, so basically, the more plant-based that we can be in our approach to consumption, the better it's going to be. People say milk does a body good. I'm sorry, I disagree. People say, well, if we take this pill or this, then we'll feel better. And that might be true. But as you take that pill, remember that pill has side effects.
Mm-hmm.
And as you take this pill, now you're going to open your body to these side effects.
Mm-hmm.
Food and nutrition, and when you eat, not only what you eat, but when you eat, is highly important to the body's health. Typically speaking, we have our largest meal in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
our medium meal in the afternoon, and hardly anything, if anything, in the evening. Think about the names of the different meals. Breakfast, right? Break, fast. Well, if you haven't been fasting, what are you breaking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, learning and not, okay, so we talked about food in that regard, but the other super important thing is, what are we drinking? Are we drinking coffee and soda and these types of things? Well, then we can expect that to have a negative impact on our ability to rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
The main only thing, unless I like have a stomach flu or something, then I'll have one Sprite. But mainly, all I drink is water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds boring. Yeah, but my body doesn't need all that other garbage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love water, and
Go.
sadly, not everyone does. And some people go as far as saying that I can't live or survive without coffee.
So here's the thing. You are in control of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is not in control of you. If you approach it as, well, this is what my body needs, coffee is a diuretic, coffee is acidic, coffee is a stimulant, coffee is a drug. If you want to drug your way through life, that's your option. That's
Mm-hmm.
simply not what I want. And what my body responds to is more natural and fruits and vegetables. And I know, all that's so boring. No, actually it's not. It's what we're meant to eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You think about, take a cow, for example. A cow eats what?
Grass?
So cows are smarter than us?
Probably not. Probably not.
I tell you what, right?
Yeah.
And so if that's what they know they need for their bodies, we could learn a lot from our animal friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk more about the adrenal gland. Can you tell us what it is and when it goes off track, what are some of the symptoms and ways we can come back to ourselves and make it more healthy?
So the adrenal gland is basically what helps keep the body in what's called homeostasis, or another good word for it is balance. It helps keep us balanced and whatnot. And if we're not treating, like during the time when I was not treating my body correctly with sleep,
Mm.
the adrenal gland basically shut down. It didn't respond. I taught it not to respond. And then when I needed it, it now no longer had the ability to function like it could at one point because I killed it.
Mm.
Now there's ways to restore it. I've been working on that, and part of what we do as massage therapists is we have a whole line of creams. One of the creams I used it just last night. It's called Sleep Easy. It helps to restore the adrenal gland and allow me to get the rest if I'm having trouble sleeping. Last
Mhm,
night was really hot and I have trouble sleeping in a really hot environment.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. And this is one of your very own cream that you guys have?
So we have over 50 different plant-based, certified organic, uh, vegan creams
Mhm,
that address a variety of different things, everything from pain to our latest one out is Polio Be Gone.
mhm,
And then we also have Sleep Easy.
mhm,
And Sleep Easy is, yes, it's one of our own branded products that we have
mhm. Oh, wow, that sounds
available.
amazing.
Yes, it is. It's
Mhm,
definitely helped me with my sleep.
mhm. Yeah. You mentioned pain. I live with chronic pain. I don't look like it. I don't feel like it when people look at me. Um, when it comes to pain, what are some things that people misunderstand about it? And
Well,
obviously, with pharmaceutical medication or natural medication, what's best to do when it comes to that?
well, here's the thing. When you're dealing with pain, oftentimes, and now you're going over the massage therapy side of my who I am,
Mhm,
but when you're dealing with pain, you can't necessarily see it. When I
mhm,
look at you, you look very, it doesn't look like your arm is going out of its socket and needing a cast. You don't see the pain.
mhm,
It's not something that you can visually connect with
mhm,
necessarily. Sometimes you can.
mhm,
Um, but not all pain and pain related issues are necessarily a visible event. And that goes for physical pain, that goes for mental pain, and that goes for spiritual pain.
mhm,
There are ways in which the body can look very normal
mhm,
unless you happen to be somebody that can see beyond this type situation. Let me ask you just
mhm,
for a quick question here. Your right
mhm.
shoulder, is that where a lot of your pain is?
It's yeah, it's at the back,
Right,
but it's
exactly, right
mostly
there.
my spine. It's
Yeah,
at the lower spine, but it
yeah.
does travel to my
So,
shoulders as well.
right. And actually, just to let you know, and this is good for the podcast, is just to let you know that's not actually where the pain is. That's where you feel the pain. This is
Oh.
part of what I bring to the table. Where the pain is actually, let's go down here.
Mhm.
Where the pain is right down here below the armpit, the area that's
Oh, okay.
called the
Yeah.
serratus anterior.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you take care of this area and then come up and take care of this
Mhm,
will take care of the lower left hand side that you were talking about.
mhm,
That's
mhm,
something that, as a massage therapist, not all massage therapists have that ability to do that. But I can, unlike other people, I can see pain.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have that ability where I'm able to see that. But the point is that even if you think it's invisible, It's not invisible to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with my pain, the only way people see that it's visible is when I put on my back brace for my spine, and I
Right.
put it on when it's really bad. And I've had injections. I've seen so many different massage therapists.
Which
At one
massage
point,
therapist has
yeah,
worked in this area here?
over
Have
there,
you ever
yeah,
have you had
yeah,
somebody work in this area here?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You have. Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and at one point, the doctor was massaging my back. It was at the lower back. It felt like I got hit by lightning. That's how fast the pain transferred and traveled to the back of my neck. And I
Sure.
jumped off the table. I said, "Stop!" And I left and limped my way home.
So the other area that I would also consider working and whatnot, if you go in for another massage, I wish you were closer because these is
Yeah,
types of things I help with people all the time, is your
yeah.
inner thigh.
Mm,
In your case, your inner thigh on your left side.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, but most of the time, massage therapists don't work inner thigh.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
inner thigh is a super important aspect for your complete restoration and healing. That jolt of lightning type thing, that was
Mm-hmm.
your sciatica going out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Because I'm on medication to help with my nerves because both of my legs and arms used to go numb. And I know I'm
Mhm.
not alone. There are lots of young moms or
Yep.
just people in general that are silently suffering and have tried to get help, but it's not the right type of help, and they're just existing. They're not really living because they're in too much discomfort and pain.
I really think that the aspect of what you just said, silent suffering, is
Mm,
so huge because I'm afraid far too many people are in that situation where they're silently suffering. When my adrenals were out and everything, and I was going through uh insomnia and suicidal depression and whatnot, a
mhm,
lot of people, you can't when you have somebody in that state, you can't look at them necessarily unless you have the right lens in your eye. You
mhm.
can't look at them and say, oh, they're in crisis.
Yeah.
You can't see that.
Mhm,
A depression and that sort of thing does not necessarily have a visible event. It can,
mhm,
but it
mhm,
doesn't necessarily have a visible event. So the more that we realize that, you know what, we do have to, we are all meant to be one.
yeah.
And if I'm hurting and I keep it to myself,
Mhm,
well, because I don't want to bother other people,
mhm,
the situation that we're actually doing is we're hurting other people. Because as those people have the ability to minister to us,
mhm,
that very act ministers to them. Not only
mhm,
that, but when people are in the process of uh, learning, hey, well, this is what happened when Guy did this.
mhm,
This seems similar. Maybe I need to do the same thing. They
mhm,
learn, it's an educational process as we learn to help one another live a more whole
mhm,
and and a more complete life. And that's part of what, that's a large part of what we do as massage therapists,
mhm,
is
mhm,
to help people realize a greater sense of well-being than ever thought possible before.
mhm,
With myself personally, I would never have in a million years have considered being a massage therapist. But as I entered into the field, and that's a story in and of itself, but
mhm,
as I entered into the field and I found what God gave me the ability to do to help other people,
mhm,
quite frankly, there's nothing I've ever done in my entire life
mhm,
that has been more uh, impactful and
mhm,
more powerful to myself personally than massage therapy. You know, a lot of clients, they come in, they think I'm helping them, and I am, but I'm
Yeah,
also helping myself.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love your approach on what you do and your passion and love for it. It shows. Um, let's connect your faith and suicidal depression because I've struggled with those as well. In the early phase of my depression, obviously I've been suicidal in the past. I did find it hard to find God in the darkness. I was buried so much in so much pain. It was hard for me to see and for others to minister to me. What was it like for you and what was your experience?
So let me approach that just a little bit by first saying I was not only I not only had a faith,
Mm,
I not only, had a religion.
mhm.
Within this process, I was a pastor.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And during going through all this, that was another hat that I had was I was a pastor of a small church.
Mhm, mhm.
Now, what did I do? Well, pastors don't have problems, so I couldn't have a problem. That's
Yeah.
obviously not true.
Yeah.
Um, but what we need to understand is, I don't know what faith you are or anything like that. And
Mhm.
that's not really, I don't think that fully matters. What do we find in the darkness?
It depends on what our intention is. We can find light or darkness or what we're attracting.
Okay, you went beyond my question. What do we find in the darkness?
Darkness.
Darkness.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we suggest then that that would be evil? And things like that. We find that which is not good in the dark,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
You are asleep at night. You need to go to the bathroom, and you forgot that you put that box in the way between the bed and the toilet. And as you are walking, your foot connects. Is that a good or bad experience?
it can be good or bad. I know I've sleepwalked into the wall. Wasn't
Oh,
pleasant
there you
when I
go.
woke up.
See, that's my point. Is it's that it doesn't feel good to stub your toe.
Mm-mm.
So I don't. I'm gonna have to disagree with you just a little bit. I don't know how stubbing your toe can be good because that's so painful.
Yeah, yeah.
but but the point is, who if we are in darkness, we are
Mm,
separated from that other ingredient that you brought into your answer, which is called light.
mm,
Well, if the darkness separates us, then we are alone. We truly, truly are alone. And
mhm,
there's what we need to do when we are in darkness is we need to look for the light.
mhm,
We need to follow the light and move towards the light. And
mhm,
that's not easy to do when you feel like your whole world is just not working out well.
mm. Yeah.
But if we, in our faith, we say, okay, this valley isn't fun. In
Mm,
2003, April 3rd, 2003, my wife died.
mm,
And I walked home, I went home that day and I fell on the floor in my bathroom. And I said, God, I don't like you right now, darkness,
yeah.
but I need
Yeah.
you.
Mm,
Help me. So, in other words, even though the darkness was there, I was pursuing the light. I don't know how to make it through. I can't do this. Help me. If we realize that we are not, a lot of people want to say, well, I'm independent. I'm just me. I can do this all by myself. Don't we live in a world that is teaching us that's what the value of life is today?
absolutely. Yeah.
It's baloney.
Mhm, mhm,
I am not independent.
mhm,
I'll just speak for myself, and maybe you will agree, but I am not independent. I am very much interdependent on not only my Heavenly Father and His Son,
mhm,
but I'm interdependent on the body
mm,
because as I reach out to you, you have this gift. I have this gift. I can do this gift real well, but I can't do that gift because that's your gift. But I'm just going to stay over here and say, hey, this is my gift. I'm so proud. And what if we meld those two gifts together and we work united as one? Now, where is the gift? Now we become a combo gift. And now we have much more power, much more ability to move forward in strength compared to just one. Oh, I'm over here. I got this. Yeah, but you don't have all of that all over there.
Yeah, yeah. You just described the definition of my podcast.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, because my logo on the podcast is healing together. It's always about oneness, unity, coming together. All of us suffer, and we know other people suffer, but it shouldn't be a secret that suffering exists. We should come together and be able to talk about it and help each other heal. So I completely agree with you on that. Completely agree. So thank you.
So what I want to build on what you just said, because we live in a world that wants to be equal. And what happens if I'm here and I'm saying I'm equal to you? What's actually happening? What's actually happening is we're not equal. The more I say that we're equal, we're not equal, because the minute I say I'm equal, I'm elevating myself. And I'm equal to you because I'm better than you. It's all it's all pointing at me, at meism, the religion of meism.
The ego.
The ego. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like the ego. It serves me, it helps me, but it also cripples me.
Yep, absolutely. Now, if we take what you said and the oneness, the unity, now instead of me telling you how good I am, and I am better than you, you do know that, right? Instead of me going in that position, instead, as we unite as one, it's no longer a matter of, who's better than who. It's a matter of we come together and we join together and we move and be together. And, I'm going to say this, and I hope I'm not offensive, because I don't want to be offensive. That's not my goal. It does not matter if you are young or old. It does not matter if you are man or woman. It does not matter what your race is. What matters is, can we bring together unitedly and serve together and work together and minister to one another with understanding we've got these differences. And as we understand we have these differences, we can be stronger. Who would want us to be weak? Wouldn't that be the enemy? And so if he can isolate us in the darkness, if he can isolate us in the darkness so we think nobody else has ever gone through anything like this ever before, I'm the only one, and everybody else somehow figured it out, and I'm screwed. If we can if he can get us into that point, he wins.
Yeah.
But as we come together as a united family, as a united whole, as a united one, we have the power. Now, if we take that power and we realize we don't have the power at all, but they have the power, and we are simply moving according to the oneness that we are called into.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that. There's no way to beat that. But you can certainly, I can certainly tell you how much better I am under the form of equality.
Well, I love everything you just shared. Especially in a society we live in. I'm from a different country and culture. It's not an excuse. It's just how I was brought up. I was brought up to be one, to be equal, regardless of what someone looked like, their race. And that's something I always echo on the podcast, to bring down those shields, those barriers that are dividing us, to come together as one, and also to teach our kids and to show them what unity look like, not division. Because even in school, in church, anywhere in society, there's different cliques and different aspects of how people disconnect.
Yep,
I know we used to be closer than we are today. Is it perfect? No. Can it be better? Absolutely. And people like you and me and many other people are part of that journey that are bringing people closer to their callings and purpose.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that you used to be a pastor. Are you still a pastor?
Well, I am of sorts.
Okay.
I am a pastor without a pulpit.
Yeah. Okay.
If you look there's a website called Quora. If you look up my name, Guy Siverson, out on Quora,
Hmm.
you will see that I am a very prolific pastor without a pulpit. I have services on Saturday afternoon. They're virtual.
Mm.
I have people dial in from Kenya, from Nigeria, from the UK. So yes, I am a pastor, but I'm just a pastor without a pulpit.
Wow. I love that because that's kind of how I see myself. I serve God, I believe in God, I love God. But I did find myself, still do find myself withdrawing from the church because it didn't give me room to be human. It didn't give me space to grieve, to cry, to heal. I had to show up as something I'm not, and it was suffocating to my soul. I had to be strong. I had don't cry, smile, and show. It just wasn't aligning with my soul purpose. I just couldn't do it. I still watch
Yeah.
sermons at home. I love Jesus. I have a Bible. I read the scriptures. It's just in the environment I was in. It wasn't helping me grow. It was leaving me at a level that I wasn't ready to stay at.
The other thing that it really helps, along with everything you just said, Bernadette, is it gets you away from the political mumbo jumbo.
Mm,
I've been asked to be a pulpit pastor many times, and
mm,
I refuse. I don't. I want to teach the truth. I don't
mhm,
want to get mixed up in the political board meetings and everything like that. I have no interest in that. I want to teach about Jesus.
mhm.
And so yeah, that's where this has been an interesting podcast. I haven't ever really had one like this before, but we've covered a lot of different areas.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what the podcast is about. We go pretty deep. And I've talked about anything you can think of. I've talked about racism, faith, religion. That's why I don't really have a niche. I can't. I think there are other people like me, like yourself. Our dreams are too big to just put in a little tiny box and expect people to accept it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Do
So
you
can
have
I give
anything
a
else you want to share?
so what I'd like to share is just a couple ways people can connect with me, may I?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
So out on on the socials, the best way to get a hold of me is on Instagram.
Hmm.
And there I'm Pain Relief, the number four, the letter U. Pain Relief, the number four, the letter U. On let's see, and then my website for the different products, including Sleep Easy, is uh, gracefultouchproducts.org.
Hmm.
And then if you want to text me directly,
Hmm.
because you'd like to have me on your podcast or in a speaking engagement, I'm more than open to considering different ideas and such. You can do so by by texting. Actually, I would text
Hmm.
605 574 1998.
Hmm.
If you
Hmm.
call that number, you'll talk to Geo, our scheduler, and he'll get you in for a massage. But chances are most people listening to this are not in the Rapid City area. So text me your desire to connect, and I'll be more than glad to do so.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I have one question for you before we wrap this up. What is the meaning of life to you?
Oh, I am supposed to do that in 30 seconds?
Yes.
um, the meaning of life to me is truth.
Mm,
Jesus says in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life unto the Father. Beside me, there is no other.
Mm,
So the meaning of life is truth. The meaning of truth is Jesus.
mm. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love. I'm gonna ponder on that for the day. Thank
There you
you.
go.
Yeah. Well, if you do you have anything else you'd like to share? If not, we'll wrap up the episode.
No, I think we're good, but if you want me to come back for another episode or whatnot, because I really enjoyed the synergy that we had shared here,
Yeah, absolutely. I'd
I'd
love
be
to have you. I'll
more than
send
glad to do that sometime.
yeah, absolutely. I'll send information to Kevin and we'll connect from there. Thank you so much for your time.
Sounds good.
Okay, have a good
Take care.
day.
You
Thank
too.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.